Zero Collector. How are you, baby? I gotta set it up here, baby. Yo, welcome in the chat, everyone. Give me 1 second, I'm getting set up here, y'all. Say hello in the chat in the meantime, baby. Ooh, 0033 could be significant for you. Here we go, we are live now, officially. Oh, yes, we are. Boom. How you doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. Remember to say hello, make sure you're subscribed in case we get disconnected. Echo Sigil Oracle, we're gonna pull from that. Let me turn this down just a smidge. Please enjoy the vibes, just here chilling. If you have any direct questions, please direct it to direct messenger via Instagram, my love, please. I would love to connect with you, you know? It's time for you to do some cord cutting, baby, if you haven't already. Yo! I've been trying to reach you. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the exact time it shows up on my side. Reach out to me on Instagram if you don't mind, if you're able to. Cutting cord. Releasing what no longer serves you. Probably releasing on, we're gonna reactivate the Sage Cleansing, by the way. That's our starting card. We're gonna go ahead and get into a cleansing moment. Please, if you consent to said cleansing, say I consent, okay? How are you doing this evening? I hope you're doing fantastic. Make sure you like the live, like the video. Make sure that, well, I know you are subscribed already. Make sure you share my video to anybody else that you know. The goal is 500 subscribers. So then I can get certain donations via YouTube. So that would help out tremendously, my love. So, yes, if you accept the Sage Cleansing, say I accept, okay? We're gonna pull some cards as well. Let me probably switch this up here a little bit. Maybe on this side, it would show it some more. Boom, baby. Yeah, see what I'm talking about? What a difference. Yeah. The direction of the wind, you know? So cord cutting, releasing what no longer serves you. That is going to be the first card of the reading, okay? Selenite wand here, courtesy of Miss Sophia's Dreaming, her business. I just happened to acquire this art piece slash wand, rose quartz. We're cleansing the area and the space. Feel the sage cleansing. Any energies not welcome here will not be here. Protective energies around myself and you. Welcome everybody in the chat. Say hello and say where you are logging in from. I love you. You're wonderful, beautiful. Yo, Planet Maybe, welcome. Make sure you subscribe if we get disconnected, baby. If you consent to say the cleansing, it's your turn. We're gonna cleanse the area and ensure that whatever message comes in is meant just for you, my love. You're beautiful, you're wonderful. Hold still. If you consent, say I consent. We are moving any stagnant energy that may happening. Colorado, awesome. I am in desire of exploring different areas as soon as possible. I feel at least I'm called to. If you have any connections, let me know. Hold still. Grabbing any negative energies and stirring up any stagnant energy that may be going on. Rose quartz, divine love. We have right here third eye activation with some labradorites. Welcome everybody in the chat. Say hello wherever you are coming from. Make sure you like the video, please. It helps the algorithm. That's free, by the way. Thank you so much. Cleansing this area. Yo, welcome everybody. Like the video, baby. Please, please, please. All right, thank you. I see one like. Thank you. Someone listen. Thank you so much. Jazzy Bella, welcome in the chat. How are you doing? We're rewriting our history right now. It's kind of getting to the jams right now. Feeling the sage cleansing in the background. See number 2 like. Come on, can we get a 3? Can we get a 3? Can we get a 4? Can we get a 4? Come on, someone keep the likes up. Come on, baby. This is you right here, rewriting the scripts. 12, keep sharing this like. Keep everybody coming on. Make sure you're subscribed. 500 subscribes, baby, is what we're going for. We're cleansing the area. 13, yes. Can we get a 3? Can we get a 3 like? Can we get a 4 like? Yes, baby. All right, so we're cleansing the area. Real talk, though. Thank you so much. We're rewriting the scripts. Ah, yes. Thank you so much. Yes. You might be free because you feel that maybe you have cut some cords off, or maybe you know you're about to, and you're feeling a sense of freedom, I feel. It's kind of the vibes that I'm feeling right now. Make sure, invite everybody you know to the chat. Make sure you like the video, please, and that you're subscribed. Some people may think that you should be under some you have overcome grief. I feel that some people have expected you to be in a worse place than what you are at. Not expecting you to rise as a phoenix that you are, my love. Because it says moving forward with sadness in your hearts. Hey, maybe some things you didn't get full clarity on, and that's fine. Look at this. Overcoming grief. You had to move forward. It's time to keep moving on, baby. Yes, 2-2 could be significant. Yo, make sure you like the video and make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already. I love you. You're wonderful. Beautiful. Mystic Royal Collective. Okay. And it has to do with your inner knowing right now. Trusting your intuition and listening to your inner voice right now. My love, my beautiful love. Any other divine guidance from the Echo Sigil Oracle? Clemtastic. Yo, how are you doing? Okay, interesting. Archangel Safkiel, hopefully I said that right. Archangel of Bina, I don't know if I said that right. Important decisions, clarity of communication. So right now, through said release of baggage and burdens that you have been carrying for no reason that has not been yours, it has given you a sense of freedom to an extent to just kind of like be you and live your life once. I feel that whoever I'm speaking to right now, let's reactivate the sage cleansing, that you have been keeping yourself minimized. Yo, from Australia, Casey R. Peterson, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in the chat and interacting. Make sure you like the video. I love you. You're wonderful. So I'm gonna pull from, this is a deck I haven't pulled from in a while, but we're doing it tonight. It's the Sun Tzu Art of War Oracle deck. It's inspired by the Sun Tzu Art of War deck. A scrambled. Interesting. Okay. Yo, Pittsburgh Jazzy Bella, thank you so much. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's amazing. Demon Bunny, thank you so much for interacting. Prevention is better than... Hey, you with a dirty mind, be careful. Prevention is better than the cure. But honestly, I think, real talk though, it may have to do with some kind of like connection that you have going on. Case you're what? That was random. Do you be farting? Demon Money Queen, interesting. Is that like something that you enjoy, I guess? It says, we are all generals in our army of one. We are responsible for how we live and relate to others, as thwarting an enemy's plans is better than laying siege to their city. So looking after your health is better than waiting until you get sick. And managing your budget is better than falling into debt. Be responsible for yourself and for others. I mean, it's kind of wordy, to be honest, but I think it's just kind of telling you that tune into your intuition and take care of yourself before the universe say, hey, we're gonna take care of you for you, and then we're just gonna go ahead and just like force you to rest, and then random sickness or whatever like that comes up and whatever, you know what I mean? For love reading, Mystic Wolf, yo, Casey Peterson, I do general readings, but I do have love decks, so stay tuned. I'll pull from those. I think that's pretty awesome, and I'm down. But keep your questions to yourself and just trust that whatever the instincts that come into your mind, this is the intuitive test for you that you know you're a goddess, God, whatever you identify, and see, you get you be able to get the insights on your own, baby. We're gonna see any other deck cards that come out here in the shoot. Sunset Art of War Oracle deck. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like the video and you are subscribed. It's time for you to get to the root of the problem, my love. Stuff that's been kind of like keeping you burdened. Thank you for the love, baby. I love that. Yes. If someone is unaccountably angry with you, think about why that might be. They might be maintaining deceitful appearances and are angry about something that has nothing to do with you. I'm gonna like segue. I feel that some people will be triggered by your healed self and your presence, because when you start getting to a certain healed stance and you've done the work, my love, then boom, that's triggering. So going back here, gently try. They might be maintaining deceitful practices and are angry about something that has nothing to do with you. Gently try and find out what it is, and they may well grab the chance. Your reward and theirs will be getting to the root of the problem so it can be sorted out. Boom, screenshot that if you need to. Yeah, goddess, gods, everybody. Gata Melissa. Hopefully I said that right. It sounds kind of nice. Gata Melissa. That's beautiful. We're gonna put, let's see the bottom card on this right here. Sunset Art of War Oracle deck. Don't let your ego get in the way. Are you being a little too cocky now, my love? What are you doing? Yes, thank you for the extra love. I saw it go to 5. Can we get a 6? Can we get a 7? Getting your ego under control can be one of your biggest challenges in relationships. If you are good at something, that's wonderful. If you have weaknesses, then so be it. Don't worry too much about what others think of you. Your actions will show that you are what you believe yourself to be. Be yourself. Believe in yourself. 6'6" could be significant, my love. Boom. See that? Yo, thank you for the sub, KC. Anybody else not sub, make sure you subbed already, baby. And make sure you like the video and share with anybody you know. Bring other people along because we're just getting started, okay? Let me take some water. Make sure you are staying hydrated yourself, baby. Okay? Sweet. Let's dive into some, well, okay. Let's go right into the love. Somebody wanted to talk about love. Talk about love. They need to grow up and act like an adult, not your problem. Kathy. Who's they? We got right here this love deck here. It's going to be Tell Me You Love Me Oracle, okay? So let's get it going on and let's see hovered over the sage cleansing. Thank you so much, universe. In fact, let's get some more because I feel this could get even spicier. Potentially, let's see what's coming up. Could be a significant other trying to, think about you and sending energy their way. Yes, baby. Oh, this bottom on the card just showed up. I gotta cover it up a little bit, but two, because they make significant, you might be trying to have peace and maybe treat people trying to bring drama into your life. Sacrifice, letting go, devotion. Time-consuming sacrifices will not yield positive results. So to me, make sure that your time is leveraged accordingly so you don't, lose sight of who you are. Does that make sense? My love. You see why I had to cover that up. So, all right, I'm gonna pull another card here from the Tell Me You Love Me Oracle. Oh, are you a martyr? That's what came up right now because as I was shuffling the same card I just showed you by sacrifice fell on the floor, and it's like, I don't know if there's kind of an imbalance or someone like intentionally putting themselves in situations. Sometimes we gotta keep it real, you feel me? And perhaps people put themselves in situations where they are like, I don't know, trying to have people feel sorry for them. Yo, welcome everybody in the chat. Make sure you like the video. Let me check this out here. What's up here? Yeah, I see you, Miss Casey. Yeah, I'm a one-man show, so forgive me that that's really not a big deal comment, but I have it set on like basic moderation. You know what I mean? I guess it picked up on that word. I don't know what I'm playing, but yes, the artwork on it is pretty nice. So I don't know. Does it show in the chat now? I think I put it to show on there. So. But right now, my love, you're having some stuff going on with intimacy right now. In my secret garden, there's me and me. Well, maybe you're taking some time to yourself and maybe you're giving yourself some self-love. I hope you are. And if you aren't, perhaps put it on the schedule. You know what I mean? Let's see one more card if it shows up here. Welcome everybody in the chat. Feel free to comment, make sure put a like on the video. It helps the algorithm. Thank you so much. We'll get it from 6 to 7, baby. Come on, let's do it. Effort, fatigue, and lassitude. Can someone tell me what that means, lassitude? I'm gonna look it up real quick, but give your all for an all-out victory. To me, it's kind of like screaming like Hail Mary vibes. Like just, you've done everything you can, and it's like, shoot. I don't know what to do anymore. Notice that there's a little moth though creeping on the side of the cheek. If there was a moth that creeped on the side of your cheek, what would you do? Would you freak out? Weariness, thank you so much. Awesome. Let's save me from looking at it. I trust you, Miss Casey. New sub. Thank you so much. You're wonderful, you're beautiful. So yeah, I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm tired of all the lessons that have been going on. Hey, and your weariness as a soul does affect your relationships too, to an extent. Let's see what shadows come to play, and let's see what Goddess Lilith. By the way, check out the one that made this wand. I don't know if you're here right now in the chat. Put if you are in the chat. There is this beautiful wand here, and also some of the necklace pendants that I have. This one I've kind of wear and tear, so it didn't come like this originally. I just wear it a lot. In my shirt, the dye rubbed off. Hecate pendant. But this here just recently got is a Lilith pendant. Look at that. That's beautiful with some smoke obsidian. I think smoky, whatever they call it, obsidian. I do know my crystals, but I mean, check out Sophia's Dreaming. You have to look it up yourself. Let's see, earthquake event. Well, thank you for interacting, Waz, but I don't know what that means, like, necessarily to this chat. Does that make sense? It's kind of irrelevant. I don't know. Hey, you. How are you? Welcome in the chat. Make sure you like the video. I felt led to keep grabbing another one of this Echo Sigil Oracle deck, and right now it's calling towards gratitude. Just before we jump into the Lilith, Queen of the Night Oracle here, recognition of blessings, thankfulness, and humility. So just making sure that you are aware and grateful for the things you already have, my love. Lilith protection, I know very. Miss Casey, thank you so much for interacting. Miss Goddess Lilith is beautiful, wonderful goddess that she's probably very well known in a lot, like, in more diverse cultures, because she's also like based in the Abraham. She's also known in the Abrahamic, like, Jewish knowledge. She's in there as well, but she's known as the first woman to have ever been created. And you know, she represents the ultimate, like, in my opinion, the ultimate feminine aspect of just kind of like going with being one's true authentic self. She's really good at helping you with that. And you know, some mythologies say she was the first rebellion because she didn't want to submit, because Adam had wanted something else. You know what I mean? Baby. Yes, God is Lilith. Thank you so much. Look at this. What I talk about, authenticity, baby, and look at this. Boom. Her right there. Well, a depiction of her, right? But look, it says authenticity. That's beautiful. I embrace all aspects of myself, turning societal shadows into my source of light. Look, even the haters that give you hate, they're giving you energy too. Goddess Mother, Ethereal Moonlight, thank you so much. She is, Miss Goddess Lilith is known by many things and many titles. She's known also as a vampire queen, which I have this pendant here that is symbolic of that. Let me show it to you here. Look at that. See that? Vampire queen aspect. She's also known as a dragoness. Hence, they say that, didn't they say that even if you like interpret it different ways, right? They say that like she had bat-like wings. So that can be interpreted as a bat. So the vampire queen that I showed you. But also bat-like wings is dragon as well. So like a dragoness, and hence serpents. Hence the one that went into the garden to inform Eve about the truth of things that have been withheld. You know what I mean? Chew on that for a second. You know what I mean? Yo, yes. Goddess Lilith, I love her so much. Everyone thinks she's yes. But the thing is, like, you think about all the divine sacred knowledge that has been hidden is always want to be like demonized anyways. So it's like, hey, you know what? Like, there's nothing to look here, you know what I mean? Trust us, you know what I mean? We're telling you the truth, you know? Make sure you like the video and share with anybody you know, my love. It's free, baby. You go through the storm. Casey, thank you so. I love the interaction. Say hi in the chat, baby. 11 could be significant to you. You know what I mean? Well, yes. Remember though that division was like we were separated from the source. And like, there's a whole belief, like with the whole, you have to look it up, like certain Gnostic beliefs that say like we came from the monad, which is known as like the source, and then the first emanation of the monad was goddess Sophia, which then she was like goddess of with like a knack for curiosity, and she had wanted to replicate the design of source for herself without source. I don't know, maybe quoting it wrong, but then the demiurge came to be, which ended up being in her eyes a abomination or a flaw, which then was cast down into his own realm, away from everything else because of being ashamed of said creation. And then, well, the demiurge, through ignorance, is like, well, hey, I'm the only thing here, so I must be God. And then, hence, creates a world, which then somehow we come to be. Like, you do your research, you know what I mean? There's so much rabbit holes and different interpretations, okay? And everyone's divine truth is divinely their own, but it's so interesting in my opinion. Spider Bite, yo, that's a cool name. Maleficent betrayed from her lover. You know, I never saw that movie. I need to see that. I thought I had some info on Lilith, but I didn't, so may I have a reading, please? So this is a general reading, but hey, if the fact that you're here may mean that there's something in here for you at some point. So stay tuned. Reach out to me. Subscribe to Instagram. I need 1K follows now to go live. For some reason on Instagram they changed that. But anyways, 500 here. Make sure you subscribe here. 500, we unlock more opportunities here on YouTube. And it's about you taking a bite and you getting in tune with that new knowledge that's coming your way, baby. That forbidden knowledge. See that? What is it? Why is it that they didn't want people to know it? They didn't want people to know the truth. They didn't want people knowing the truth from the simulation. Thank you for the like. Get another like in the chat. Keep the like going over 10. And y'all, you know what I'm saying? Help the algorithm. But it says, I bite. I bite the apple to recognize the depth of my desires and access hidden knowledge. You're thirsty, you know what I mean? And that fruit, they got some hydration in there too. You get a nice apple, you know what I'm saying? Yo, subscribe. Thank you so much, Spider Bite. This is the Wolfpack family right here. We're gonna give a howl right here on the count of 3. 1, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Every time, maybe we get a sub, maybe we do a howl. Maybe that sounds pretty cool. For a limited time only. Yeah! Howl, ethereal moonlight. I feel like Lilith represents my transformation as a woman scorned by a previous deceitful lover and becoming my best self through the shadow work. I love the wolf emojis. Awesome, by the way, ethereal moonlight. And becoming my best. You know, yo, thank you so much. Yeah, Lilith is definitely really good at helping you to like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, you know, any like divine dark goddess that you work with, or dark, you know what I mean? And when I say dark, for me, it's like saying like lunar aspect, you know what I mean? Like that spiritual aspect. Thank you so much. I love the howls, by the way. That's beautiful, by the way. Yeah, let's connect. Love to connect. Hey, you want a more personal connection? We reach out to Instagram. Is a Mystic Wolf Oracle Instagram, and I post unique, exclusive content on Kick. They seem a little lenient on you doing different things, so I do react content, and you know, I don't know, always doing different things. Anybody that is good at editing or whatever like that, want to kind of work with Mystic Royal Collective, let me know. You know what I mean? Anyways, so Cries of the Soul Oracle. Let's see what other shadows. Oh, by the way, I forgot one. Probably, yeah. I'm not good at editing. No, you're good. You're good. It's not. I don't even need much editing, really. It's like, for me, it's, I guess, social media management, I guess is a better word. Vampire energy. 3/3 could be significant. Is someone draining your energy? You know what I mean? Someone going, you know what I mean? I balance my passions and cravings to ensure they don't drain my energy or that of others. Yes. So maybe when your energy is drained, look at that. Yeah, you're looking kind of pale. You know what I mean? You got to go out probably in the sun a little bit. It's kind of cool that I'm gonna show you, see if it's possible to show you. You can kind of see in the outline. Let me show you. Does it show here? There's so much light. Yeah, I ain't gonna show. But yeah, look. So there's potentially some people around you that are siphoning your energy and just using you for just the elevated nature that you are. So just keep in mind and make sure you take to yourself, I balance my passions and cravings to ensure they don't drain my energy or that of others. And you probably help to save other people too. Kathy, thank you so much for still being here. Lisa, thank you so much for saying hello. Make sure you subscribe. I love you. Beautiful. You're wonderful. The goal is 500, so then we can start mixing things up even more here on YouTube. You know what I mean? Someone draining my energy, but I've been cut off their supply. So now they can starve, you know what I mean? Sometimes people be avoiding the harsh lessons for themselves, so they try to siphon your energy. So I guess real animated, y'all. But yeah, no, you gotta be careful of the energy vampires trying to you know, pull off your energy. Is crazy, you know what I mean? Let me see, try to go back completely live here. Yes, call your power back. I love when you read the smoke, you really pick my energy. Yeah, I do. That's why I always try to keep the sage cleansing activated in the background, because sometimes just by staring at the smoke trails, sometimes there's divine insights, you know what I mean, that come about. Ooh. Reactivating this intense sage cleansing and this divine wand. Subscribe. Yo, thank you so much for the subscribe, Lisa. Remember that every time you comment in a video, you're potentially immortalized. I'm going to try to make it so these videos, even if I don't have a thumbnail like fancily prepared, that it would go live. You know, I had some people say, hey, like the live ended, I couldn't see it. You know what I mean? So yes, call your power back, ethereal. I don't know if I replied to that already, but yes. I know people use CapCut. I just do live streams. No, but that's good, ethereal. That's good that you're doing the stuff. You know what I mean? Doing the stuff. Let's see. Warlocks. A lot of people draining. What is a warlock to you? I'm curious what you think that is. Because like we have to also think that these people and like other, you know, maybe they're like, I am open to like Matrix ideology, where there are probably some like Archon or some simulated figures that are just there to just kind of affect our vibes. Kind of like giving me Agent Smith vibes. You feel me? Well, Miss Lisa, stay tuned. And it's a collective reading, but the fact that you are here, it feels very important. Maybe something in store. So if you have any direct message, reach me on Insta. Follow me there. Thank you for the wolf emoji, ethereal. The game Hades Hate. Oh, yes. Oh, Casey, yes, I love that game. So I have it still. I haven't even played it yet, but I have Hades 2, I have a Switch 2, but I think something's wrong with the dock that I have. I'm not sure. It's not really connecting, but yes, it's a very awesome game that I was introduced by someone in my past. Yes. Melanoi is the goddess that is debuted as the main protagonist in the Hades 2 game. For those that have already played the game, which originally started on Steam, By the way, Gaia is a Greek primordial goddess of earth. Nice. I've seen some nice carvings that have come out of goddess Miss Mother Gaia. And look, you know, talking about her right now is silence. You know what I mean? Wow. Nice. That means it's time to get grounded and time for to get some stillness, baby. That's what that means. It's time for some stillness. Give me a second to reactivate the music in the background. That's so synchronistic, though. You feel me? Sounds cool, Cassie. Who's Cassie? Oh, you're talking to her. Yeah. Thank you so much. I love, continue talking in the chat. That's beautiful. I encourage it. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Mystic Royal Collective, which is bad, evil intentions. Okay, so that's what the warlocks are. I think that's what you're referring to. Circe, goddess of sorcery and transformation. Nice. I just thought of like a circle, like an Ouroboros just now. It just came to mind of like transformation. You feel me? Let's go over here. So, staying a bit. It seems like I was called here. Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. I should be heading to bed. Well, hey, do what you need to do. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you come back. I try to go live around the 11 midnight time, so just FYI, but I never commit to anything because I never know you never know what comes up, you feel me? Good game series, yeah. All right, I think I'm almost caught up. Nintendo is my weakness. You know, I had all the consoles back in the day. I had all the handheld, the Game Boy consoles. We're gonna pull from the Tabula Militara as we're talking in the background. We're kind of chilling, baby. I was very fortunate to have had one from each generation, you know what I mean? And even though I don't own them today, I've had them in the past. But they've gotten so like money hungry, all these industries in the gaming industry, like they're trying to price out so many people with these like, it's become like that machine effect where they just want like instant transaction type stuff. You know what I'm talking about. 9 of Cups happiness. Be careful with the cups that you look into. Some of them could have something to bite you back. Be careful. Not everything seems as flowy. And some things may be toxic, so just be careful with that. Writing random information over time. Hello, Tobias? Wait. Tobias, I think maybe. Welcome in the chat. Hopefully I said that right. Hello. Hopefully you're subscribed. I love you. You're wonderful. I like to free draw while listening to tarot readings. Help me connect. You know, sometimes the intuition can prompt like a visual representation of something that you should be paying attention to. If you were to like aimlessly just like let your mind like detach for a little bit and just like draw, you know what I mean? Queen of Swords in the reverse is what we got. Water of air. I feel that who I'm speaking to, they're having a hard time releasing certain masks that they're so used to keeping up, if that makes sense. Certain facades that they've kept for so long. This one stood up on its own. What the food? 7 of Wands, reverse. Look at that. A misplaced sense of valor. Maybe you think that maybe you thought that the masks that you were putting on for so long were the things that were giving you the success that or your perceived success. Even though who I'm speaking to right now feels somewhat miserable based on the choices that they have chosen, but have refused to take accountability to some extent. Melanoi is the bridge between time and space. She's the nymph of living on Earth, an underworld nymph. Yes, she is like a goddess of like thresholds of like when you're going from like, you know, and to some, based on my research, there's very little information about her. So by channeling, if you are meant to work with said goddess, I would say that right now that there's definitely a need for more information, because there's a lot of when they made the game, you know, they did choose certain like from my research, I heard that the Hades 1 and 2 game, they chose deities that didn't have too much history, so then they had more artistic freedom to kind of add, you know what I mean? But no, it's very interesting. I love learning a lot. In fact, I have maybe if you wanna see it, maybe I could step up and I'll show you this carving that I found. It's like one of the only carvings that I found of Goddess Melanoi on the internet. It's beautiful. But yes, 11-1-1-1. Yes, I love that. 311. 11 could be significant in general. If snake bites you, would you turn around and ask them why? No. So you should treat people the same and walk away when they hurt you. I think I had one bite me when I was like picking up some leaves. It was a small one on my side of my thumb. Now there are certain deities that represent themselves as or they show up in different animals, like snakes. Hecate, for example, can show up as like black snakes, and you know, also I think Goddess Lilith can be seen working with like snakes. Never heard about the snakes. So true. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for commenting, Ms. Tavaya. Let's see. Melanoi is Lady of Babylon. She is Medea. Interesting. Okay, I gotta look more into that kind of stuff. Okay, interesting. Okay, what is this about? Gosh, okay. Forgive me, Sputterbite. Because I'm a one-man show, I have I'm relying on the algorithm to help moderate, so it kind of flags things sometimes randomly. Make mortals. I think it interpreted your message differently. I don't know, but yeah. But what is a nightmare, though? You know what I mean? People seeing that all dreams are pleasant. A nightmare is also a dream. Remember. So remember not to have a misplaced sense of valor. 9-9 could be significant. And speaking of threshold energy, 9 is almost their energy. Your spirit soulmate. That's so funny. But you may have had kind of warrings within yourself. Welcome everybody in the chat. Thank you for liking the video. I love that. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. General chatting should help. Yes. Also, are you forgetting the dragon energy that exists within yourself? You know what I mean? That may be something to think about too, because there is a healthy sense of being able to channel that dragon. And some people think dragon, they think like intense rage, but if you think of like a old, like wise, like dragon, let's say from certain like movies or whatever like that, you know what I mean? They just don't want to be bothered. First of all, you poke the bear, you're gonna get burned. You feel me? But there's also a sense of like discipline and like knowing that. I think dragon energy to me is recognizing one's power, but choosing to harness and transmute that energy for something that can help them expand their manifestations in different ways. Does that make sense? But yes, because lately you've been feeling probably dehydrated. Make sure you're drinking water. 5 cups. Look at that desert. See that? You feel like that. I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm ready for some rest. You know what I mean? And as I'm saying that, I'm parched. I need to drink some water. You like poking the bear, especially those epic bear hugs. By the way, I want to ask, like, you ever seen those questions? They said, would you? They say choosing the guy or the bear. You ever heard some kind of random stuff like that? I don't know. There's like a whole thing. People keep saying that they would feel safer with a wild bear that could, I don't know, it's kind of weird. A teddy bear is different though, I guess. Dan Grandpa need a nana nap. So this right here is a Cries of the Soul Oracle deck here, and this card is, are you evading your own happiness, my love? Look, more snake symbolism right now. Look at, see that? The black snake we talk about? Is Goddess Hecate potentially trying to send you a message, or maybe you have an inkling to work with her, or you have heard about her? She's known by many things also. So like goddess of like crossroads, goddess of witchcraft. She was personified as a three-headed, like a triple moon goddess with different phases. But originally her original was, what is it? As a a singular bodied person. Especially in, I'm not sure. It's doing it on automatically, but I'm curious as to why the comments that you're saying though. I'm curious. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Hey, maybe I could try to eventually have some other people help moderate, you feel me? Instead of the machine. The machine's so picky. I can't even like certain algorithms, like I can't I'm always respectful of everyone, even if I don't agree with everyone's stuff. I'm always respectful. I always say, hey, as long as everybody's respectful in the chat, but like I have to show that I have the crystal ball here, and like I have to be very strategic about even showing the sage, because like one time on TikTok it got flagged for like something else, and when they did the human review on it, then they were like, oh no, you're good, you know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, well I probably got to avoid showing in the camera, and in the meantime I see everybody, like I see other streamers just like lighting up and everything on stream, full in the camera, and I'm like, bro, what the heck? I'm doing my best here, you feel me? And these people are like flaunting all this, like I'm all about the sacred herb too myself, you feel me? But I'm like, yo, that's so crazy. How do people able to get away with it? And like, you know what I mean? If I were to try something like that, you know what I mean? Hell nah, you feel me? You know? Yeah, it's crazy. So that's why I tell people I do have, check on me on all the other platforms. I've been trying out Kick lately. It's a little bit more flexible. And I'm like, yo, if they allow some kind of sketchy stuff on Kick, I don't even do that kind of stuff. Sage and that kind of stuff, and even like just, you feel me? Like that should be fine on that. And I like doing reaction content too. And I YouTube changed so much. You got to be careful with all the even reaction content nowadays, you know. So that's why I play my own music. I always put disclaimer on AI. So we're kind of chilling right now, by the reactivating sage cleansing. Thank you so much for just chilling with us, by the way. Yeah, we'll censor the most random things. Yeah, they block the most simple things. Yeah, spider bait. That's what's been happening. It's not me. You feel right? But let's see. May look like a plane you burn and smell. Yeah, exactly. That's. In fact, I had a couple of people comment that. They're like, they said. And their exact term was Scooby. I guess that's a term. That's a term for it. So, yeah, I know. Yeah, Casey. Yeah, you gotta avoid. That's why they. That was just a moderate thing. Let's see what this one here. Yo, and it still got you on that too. That's crazy. It doesn't always work, Casey, either. Yeah. No. I love you, Miss A Road Collective. I like to keep it real with you. So that's why check me out on Kick too from time to time. I'm gonna try to do more stuff, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Because I do believe in like, but as a one-man show, I do have to kind of keep it set on some kind of moderation, because some people be spitting some BS, so sometimes, you know what I mean? They like real BS, you know what I mean? But anyways, make sure you're not evading your happiness, baby, okay? Back to the reading. You know, I think that there's potential if there's more people like us to step out, you know, and start uploading more content and being authentically ourselves, you know what I mean? I feel that we can be the next generation of YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, real talk. We'll be the next generation to, you know what I mean, evolve, you know what I mean? Because it's been kind of like very clickbaity for a long time. Unbalanced ego, you feel me? Look at that. You remember YouTube? I'm a millennial. YouTube back in the heyday was YouTube, you know what I mean? People didn't have to do nothing fancy, you know what I mean? But hey, it says, I align my inner world with the outer world. You see that? That's a divine duality, baby. That divine duality, making sure that you're taking care of the internal and the outer self. Freezing doubts. Caution enables me to move forward at my own pace. Spider-Man, Spider Pig just came. Spider-Man, Spider Pig, with that little web just came to mind. But Spider Pig does whatever Spider Pig does. Put people in their place respectfully by putting you up in your own boundaries, you know what I mean? YouTube is one big trap for the most part. I mean, yes. I mean, they have scientists working to tweak things, you know what I mean? But then here we are, right? So it's a catch-22, because I'm not gonna lie, like, there's ways to utilize things for learning, you know what I mean? It's a whole new streaming channel that is more up to us and what we allow. Well, yeah, I mean, I think if collective consumer habits changed, that in and of itself could potentially change something in the landscape. But there's a very big overconsumption thing. As long as people keep buying, and then there's not really an incentive to, like, you know what I mean, for the people that already have the foot in the connection. It's kind of crazy, but you know what I mean? You got to know the system to be able to change things, you know what I mean? And that's kind of having you freezing your doubts and knowing that you have the possibility to change the landscape, even in your own sector of wherever you're working at, you know? Let's check out the Voice of the Soul Oracle here, and I'm gonna see if Lilith has any additional message. I have a couple oracle books from her. It's pretty cool. So Voice of the Soul Oracle here is kind of a quick cards. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, my love. You're beautiful, you're wonderful. 90s baby, nice. What year, may I ask? Do people get offended with those kind of questions still? Big trap for the most part. And I know, but it goes. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Casey, that says, nice. What's my age? You tell me. Karma. Maybe someone's feeling that karma. You've already been through yours, I feel. Whoever I'm speaking to. But I feel now the tide has turned and karma is ready to collect from those that have felt that they were excluded from karma. Oh, okay, gotcha, nice. I'm actually, well, let's see if anybody else in the chat guesses. I'm curious. Message of guidance. I feel that so I feel that through all, you've probably been through your whole, like, they call it Saturn return or whatever it is. You've been through, I feel that who I'm speaking to has been through a decent amount of trial already. And you're kind of now finally recognizing through just moments where you had no choice but to just surrender to the fact that, hey, I can't do anything about this. Does that make sense? You've been picking up on things slowly but surely. You've been picking up on things that you know that you need, things that are potentially holding you back, the cord cuttings, right? And this is all, you're getting all these insights now from your inner knowing, because I feel there's kind of like a coordinated effort with your guides right now. Yo, they're so tired of your BS, respectfully. And when I say your BS, I'm talking about they feel that you have potentially been procrastinating on things that you know you need to have been doing already, probably like even a month ago. And like, it seems potentially overwhelming, or you could have already gotten out of a situation recently that was pretty crazy. You know what I mean? You already paid your dues to karma, is what I feel. You've already paid your dues. And I feel that from a lack of closure from a past or whatever connection has kept you kind of gravitating onto a certain sense of, well, am I going to find out something later? Am I going to find out maybe something that I have never known from a past that was kind of holding me back? Does that make sense? Yo, thank you so much, Casey. Yo, I'm 34, by the way, yeah. And abundance is ready to come into your life if you allow it to enter your life, baby. Now, I need to make it very clear that abundance is not necessarily always having to do with material wealth. You gotta get your mind out of that mind state, because sometimes the best thing that you can have first is an abundance mindset, which translates spiritually, translating your well-being, which then affects your health positively, which then translates to you getting your money and your other things, because through your healing, that's going to come naturally. Does that make sense? So I'm just speaking what comes to my mind. Miss Casey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. I appreciate it. Relighting the sage cleansing, baby. Yeah. Bottom of the deck of the Voice of the Soul Oracle Source. How often are you recharging your battery? Someone said, I think Casey, you said earlier about calling your energy back, right? Yo, that's, you know, but our guides, though, I want to give you a positive little spin on things, though, you know what I mean? I encourage people as much as possible to think outside of realm of time, though. Does that make sense? Because the more you think of things from a temporal standpoint, like, one, you're kind of losing out on divinity points and power by not acknowledging that. Does that make sense? That you also operate on an infinite basis as well. Because technically, as a one collective source is what I'm of the belief of. If you remove time, as infinite divine gods and goddesses that we are, everything is happening simultaneously and happening at once at the same time. So I guess I say this to say as a comforting thought, potentially, because everything is about your perception anyways. As a comforting thought, if you think of things from a, obviously you want to make use of your incarnation that you chose here, and learn as much lessons as you signed up for as possible without, backing up or changing plans, which can happen, by the way. It's a thing that happens, Journey of Souls, if you ever heard of that book, let me know. It is a free listen on this platform on YouTube, so you should check it out. It definitely kind of opens the mind up a little bit more, and it gives a little bit more comfort on like the life currently, the afterlife, and the life in between. Does that make sense? I'm gonna probably pull. I'm gonna pull from some little happy-go-lucky deck or something like that. The Miracles Now deck. See what happens. Let's see. Well, each person has their own like identification and numbers meaning something different to them. So, if what I say with you resonates with you, then take it. But if you have your own interpretation, then go with that. Listen to your intuition first. If you see the number 11 a lot, for those that see 11, I think someone put in the chat 11. That right there usually is indicative of you being on the right path. At least for me. That's when I see that, it's kind of like a reminder from my guides. And from my team that I am, but also I've come to also not, this is where harnessing the power that's within yourself, my love, is not completely relying completely on the external, which, you always, divinity exists inside and outside of the self. So you're always going to have your divine protection surrounding you. But remember that a lot of these like angels and archangels, to some extent, like they had personified, or I don't know. I feel people have known them more as like a physical entity of sorts that that they saw, whether they were an actual person, like a lot of like the mythological like Greek mythology, right? You know what I mean? That perhaps they once walked the planet. So what kind of legacy are you going to leave behind as part of a divine conscious being that you are? What are you going to leave behind, right? Born on the 11th. Yo, look at that. Divine message right there, my love, right? On the 8th. 8, turn that sideways. Infinity, baby. Spider bite. Yes. 22. Yo, Tobias. Did I say that right? Yes, 2-2. Did you ever sing that? Taylor Swift 22 song? I know that if that kind of ages me right there, like I was 22 around the time that came out. It was probably about a year after it came out. Yeah. 22, something like that. Anyways. Archangel Michael in your dreams a lot. Fight demons with me. What are demons, Casey? I'm curious. Because even demons have been literally demonized and have been misunderstood as well, to an extent, depending on how you see things, right? Just for you, Miss Casey. This goes for anybody, by the way. Well, I'm gonna pull for the miracles now, but if you're still chilling with me, you share the live with other people, get them out on the chat. 11 could be significant. I just thought again. Let's see, more psychological, not actual demons. Okay, cool. Yep, Ethereal Moonlight, glad to still have you in the chat. 22nd of January and February. Wow, nice. Can y'all guess my sign? This here is an Archangel Michael Oracle deck. So I just shuffle a little bit. We'll pull a couple cards from there. But as promised, I'm gonna pull from the Miracles Now. Okay. Birthday's next month. Awesome. We're in July, so you're in August. Yeah. I make time to, what do we talk about? Battery, baby. Getting to the source we talking about battery recharge. Sagittarius or Capricorn, interesting. Born on the 17th, which is a star card. Kathy, glad to still have you in the chat. Yeah. What month? Are you a water sign, Miss Kathy? I need time to recharge, it says. My battery. The world needs my energetic light. So right there is pretty obvious, like who I'm speaking to. You've been kind of putting yourself all over the place. I think also December, also Sagittarius then, right? Is that correct? The moment I begin to celebrate myself, I got that, there we go, yeah. The moment I begin to celebrate myself and focus on my successes is the moment I begin living. It all starts with the self, my love. Divinity and love starts with the self. That's where it's at, my love. I get Taurus from you, but I don't know. Okay, any other guesses in the chat? I'm curious. Anything from the Miracles Now? Oh, I can think my way out of fear. Look at that. I can think my way out of fear. To me, it's giving like tuning with your intuition more than what you probably are. Relying on your own instincts. You ever have what people call dark night of the soul? It just came up to me just now. Have you ever considered that maybe it's your guides trying to see, like, can you actually exercise your godhood without us and like handle things on your own for like a little bit, for like 2 seconds? Because if we're all part of the divine collective consciousness, doesn't that mean that you have power too, right? So why are you neglecting the own power that you have? They're like, yo, my love, you can think your way out of fear. See that? We'll transition over to the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, okay? It's like a parent looking on their with no survival skills. Well, I work in the hospitality industry. I have worked in the industry there, and I see like you see a lot of situations, like couples that never look at each other. You see families that are together but they're not together. They're each glued on their phone. Granted, I had a Game Boy growing up, so that's a kind of tablet-esque distraction in a way. But every person has like a tablet, you know, I don't know. it gets you a little concerned sometimes, I guess. The amount of, it's like, I'm always trying to encourage people to critically think for themselves, you know what I mean? And like, I feel there's such reliance on external factors to just take care of things. It's almost as if like maybe our own inner wounds that some of us may have had seeks some kind of stability outside of the self. And then we probably end up getting a lot more things that we didn't sign up for. Does that make sense? If you know, you know. Anyways, I think I went on a tangent, Casey, based on your last comment. You know what I mean? Because, yeah. You see all these, like, yeah, anyways. Could be Cancer, I see what you mean. Thank you, yeah. You gotta be careful with these algorithms. No, right? Well, it could be a Cancer. No, but if this is a hint at all, I based on my astrological chart, my rising sign, 111 could be significant. I just saw on the, I think that's the recording time so far. Cancers, I get along very well with Cancers. And they typically make very good like friends. And when it comes to potential like love interest, like Scorpio is like a very compatible. So, yo, yeah, Gang, baby. Casey, you got it. Yes. It's that Gang. Yeah. Yeah, y'all were getting it when you're like putting some earth signs out there. You know what I mean? Y'all were picking up on it. You're a Libra, okay. You're all about that justice. Open up to your spiritual gifts, and maybe what just came up is make sure you don't close yourself off too much. You had to mention Spider Bite, I love you. You had to mention I have nothing against Aquarius, but the last person I was with was an Aquarius, so the fact that you happen to mention that, it's no coincidence. You ever get it where it's like you feel like, and I could be wrong, but like you get intuitive nudges where people are like pinging your energy. Does that make sense? No, you're good, Casey. It's been a little bit. Like I'm good. I'm just trying to be left alone. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a lone wolf, baby. And I have nothing against anybody from my past. By the way, I'm grateful for all the lessons I've learned, because when you come to a certain standpoint, you come to me like realize like, hey, these are all dynamics that I chose in advance. You know what I mean? If you see it from that standpoint, you don't see it as something that weighs you down. Does that make sense? It's not baggage. Does that make sense? You see my head? I seem to attract. I got you. Libra and Aqua are compatible. I'm very connected to Moon. I was born full moon and a lone wolf too. Yeah, full moon, Kathy. Yeah. Aquarius, us two, or Cancer, sorry to say. Oh, Spider, are you Aquarius? Are you Aquarius? It's a mix. We don't blend in. Did you say, oh wait, yeah, you said February, right? Let's see, February 8th, yeah, you are Aquarius, right? You tell me. We don't blend in. Yeah, okay, gotcha. I got nothing against any of the sign. We all collect it, baby. That's what it is. You feel me? Love good, full moon, wink, wink. Okay, I'm curious what you're talking about there. We don't blend in. You need more. We don't blend in a relationship. It says, okay, wait. So sorry. Aquarius, us too powerful. Cancer, sorry to say, it's a mix. We don't blend in a relationship. You need more compassion. I'm trying to understand what you wrote there, but I mean, but yes. Be your authentic self, baby. Don't let anybody, whatever connection you get yourself into, don't let anybody ever dim your light. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? The minute somebody trying to tell you to be something that you ain't, you know what I mean? It's time to kind of like start questioning things. You feel me? The boots. Heard. Opening up to your spiritual gifts, Archangel Michael. Aquarius is very compassionate, just too realistic, a bit too kooky for Cancer. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, well, you're talking about comparing to the Cancer sign. I see what you're saying, and 80% of signs. Awesome Aquarius here. Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, glad to have you. 10 could be significant. 10 is the number of completion. Thank you for the likes. I love the likes. Archangel Michael says here, open up to your spiritual gifts. Which also is you thinking your own way out of your fear, which what I talk about, tuning into your own intuition. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. That's what it says. See that? The hummingbirds out there. I feel that this is kind of like something that's kind of been itching at your ears and kind of like fluttering. And you've probably kind of been annoyed by it, by the way, not gonna lie. You probably, who I'm speaking to right now is probably kind of comfortable and don't want to have to, you know, hey, change is uncomfortable sometimes, you know what I mean? You don't want to have to change things, you know what I mean? Michael is your soul. That's so funny. Be a light to others. Well, remember, if you can only be a light to others if you recharge your battery. You know what I mean? Now, when they have iMessages here, or he's talking to you, this is essentially Archangel Michael talking to you. You have a powerful message to share. Shine your light on the world so that others can learn from you. Because my love, I always try to remind the Mystic Royal Collective that your story is something that will change someone's life. When you cross the right person, your story will change someone's life for the better. Even if you think that your life is mundane or boring or whatever the case is, I'm sure there's some experience that you've lived, even when it comes to like relationships even, where someone can benefit from hearing what you have to say. So this all goes to shining your light. 4 is the number of stability anyways. Do you entertain the spirits, by the way? 21 could be significant, but that's the consumption age here where I reside. So this could be symbolic of maybe you doing some work with tuning into your spirits potentially regarding the hummingbirds. And I think we talked about earlier of kind of pissing off our guides maybe because we're just being too stubborn, but they're not really mad though, by the way. They're just kind of like, all right now, come on. You know. Yeah, you know, spider bite, I will say I'm very grateful for all the experience that I've learned through I learned a lot. I learned a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the way forward is open is another Archangel Michael card that show up there. Maybe you've been kind of mapping things out in your life and trying to go with the flow, and maybe it's an encouraging word now for you to continue to go with the flow while still having a handle on things. Because remember, you don't want, I feel that if you're steering your ship, you don't want to have too rigid sense of control where you're freaking out. You see some of the best like pirate ship captains, like they were fearless. They still had control of the ship. Pirates of the Caribbean, confirmation burp right there, yeah. But still having a grip on the situation, but allowing a sense of more confirmations, whimsical nature, and allowing the winds of life to take you naturally and organically to your next step without you forcing it. I think that's the difference too. No, you're good, Spider. This is just a general read. You're just kind of vibing right here. So I hope everybody's chilling, enjoying. I love the communication in the chat. I encourage it. I think it's beautiful and wonderful. Bottom card on the deck. I will say I did get inspiration. Casey mentioned Archangel Michael, so I was like, I have an Archangel Michael deck, so see whatever message for the collective. Libra we talked about earlier, right? See this? You said you're a Libra. I've got these scales here. That's symbolic of Archangel Michael's sword right there. Make a decision. They're like, hurry. Forgive me, that was probably loud. They're like, hurry up. What are you doing? Look. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. With love. Take this for what it is, collective. Yo, Casey. Oh, why'd you have to, You bringing that up, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like craving pizza right now. I'm not gonna lie. The only other place is Taco Who, you know what I mean, around here. And it's like, I try not to get that, you feel me? And then earlier I saw buy one, get one, box Frozen's pizza at Home Run. But then, you know, there's so much added stuff, you know what I mean? And I try to be good. I would do pizza, personally. What kind of pizza you eat? You tell me. Make a decision. What? I was laughing earlier because, like, the image that came to my mind, collective, was like your guide's getting like a feather and like you're just like chilling, minding your own business, but you're obviously completely ignoring what you know you need to be doing, right? And then and it's almost like I see them showing up and look like little nuisances where maybe they get this feather and they in your ear and then make you feel like what? And then maybe on your stomach or whatever, and just like you feel like you don't know where it's coming from, but you do. That's what this feather thing is getting me right now. It's trying to like encourage you and urge you, like, all right, now come on now, baby, come on, keep it moving. You know how to balance this out. You gotta keep it moving. You're better than this, you know. Yeah. Okay. So like. I've been hermiting for a while, no desire to hurry. You know, make sure you don't overdo the hermiting. Sometimes, Miss Kathy, the universe, I think the shadow side, and I just had a conversation. I was in a live earlier with another reader as a spectator, and I feel that the shadow elements of the hermit would be like over isolation, or a sense of superiority. I'm not saying this applies to you necessarily, but potential shadow elements when you isolate and you go too isolated is that could also keep a person from doing things that they know they need to be doing outside of the house for their mission. And that also means meeting people too. Because sometimes I'm guilty of this. We get too comfortable with where we're at, so we don't want to have any interaction. And also, hey, if we've been hurt so long, right, and so much, then even less reason to even try to reach out and talk to anybody, right? Understandably so. But But the universe is going to be still kind of edging us on and encouraging us, like, hey, you're here to shine your light, just like we were talking about earlier. Be a light to others. Archangel Michael said it right there too. Be a light to others. You know what I mean? You can't just keep your light to yourself, because you had a purpose for being here. Miss Casey, yeah, by the way, left side, left brain, right brain, you know how they talk about that. And I am of the belief, like, I agree that, like, what feels right for me is, like, the left side of everybody is like the divine feminine side, which is the receiving, which, you know, if we get like a ringing in our right ear, it could be like a download, or it could be like a piece of information that we receive from our guides, and whether we're aware of it consciously right away or not, it has been there. And when it comes to like the right ear, I'm thinking maybe it's like our oversoul, or maybe we are transmitting subconsciously. Because even if you think about it, even on a collective level, our insights and our findings, when we project those things out, right? I feel that we are kind of like radios in our own sense, you know what I mean? And you think about like the pyramids and stuff, right? Which, if you look at, like, they're more than just tombs or whatever they try to say, you know what I mean? Like, if you look at, like, from a sky view, it's kind of like very symbolic of like a motherboard of sorts, and this conduit pyramid to be able to just huge energy is crazy. And they're never gonna tell you that though. Yeah, left side, that's the downloads right there, my love. I get really deep in the rabbit holes, and as obviously, as you can tell, like, certain information you have to be very mindful, because also you know, not everyone is ready to hear certain information, and this goes for anybody, by the way. If you have something that you feel that you know, and maybe based on your own experience, hey, maybe you might know something a little bit more than someone else. But the thing is, if the person is not ready or meant to hear it at that moment, then sometimes certain lessons gotta be learned the hard way by some souls, no matter what you do. And in fact, you trying to interfere could potentially accrue karma you don't want, because some souls they chose to accelerate as a soul in advance in one incarnation. Does that make sense? There's really bad people who died and kind of, in a sense, stay on Earth. So my perception, Miss Casey, is very just depending on how you see things. And I always tell people, if you have an open mind to things and don't feel that what I'm telling you is absolute truth, because I feel absolute truth is subjective and based on your own perception. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you think of things, like, I think that multiple things can be like right at the same time. Does that make sense? So, like, I believe kind of in a sense like matrix theory, in a way where like I don't know, now I'm not a scientist or anything, but like, can I actually prove that anything outside of myself, and even the things that these cards that I'm feeling, and even though I'm talking to you right now, like, how does anyone technically know that anything exists? Does that make sense? It's very challenging thoughts, but a good analogy, if you've ever seen Rick and Morty, is like when he gets stuck in the video game, right? And then he has to like break out of the simulation. You go to the Matrix movie, at some point he breaks out and finds out of that even what they feel and everything has been controlled, right? To an extent. You look at, I have yet to watch this, but The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, in which I just happened to see near the end. I need to watch that movie. I think it's free to watch right now, where he ends up escaping under the dome. I mean, yo, there's so many things out there that in my eyes, I'm open to that being a possibility. So given that though, let's dig a little deeper, right? This is where my mind goes. And I'm thank you so much for those. This is the kind of stuff I live for. I love this kind of chat, you feel me? And then it gets you think, okay, well then duality, right? As above, so below. There's the tree of life, but there's also, which a lot of people know, but there's also the tree of, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm trying to be choosy with my words, but tree of shadows, right? Tree of darkness. And those, by the way, the tree of life, for my knowledge, is kind of like a way to solidify, and because each of those quadrants represent different cards of the tarot, which it all ties together. It's so crazy. But if you look into it, the tree of life, that's like knowledge from the libraries of Alexandria that has been preserved through the tarot system, which is many interpretations of, by the way, which translates into oracle as well. But the case in point, everything exists on a frequency. Does that make sense? So that could be also you getting to your manifestation. Your manifestations live on a frequency that exists already. So like a radio, it's like you tuning into that radio, you feel me? So to me, thinking things from a simulation standpoint to an extent, and again, you want to make sure you still have compassion with other people, because collective consciousness mindset, we are part of the same whole. So that's why karma is such a bitch, right? Because anything you do, you're doing it to yourself, you feel me? And that's why they say it comes back tenfold, whether you experience the karma in this life or the next. So it's a whole complex thing, but I also thought, like, okay, well, like, there are entities and people, if you think of when people are born, right? Even what we consider to be the most evil people that exist, right? Everyone was born into the world the same way and grew up having some kind of childhood, granted it, but they grew up, you know what I mean? Biologically, they started, and like, can a person say that person was already like that, but from the beginning? But then on a soul level, like, I feel they chose that path, knowing that they would become certain people. But then through said challenging people that exist, on a collective level, they end up teaching other souls lessons that they needed to learn anyways, that they chose to learn. Does that make sense? And it's kind of like, when you start thinking about it, it's like, yo, we actually chose all this stuff ourselves? What? How do you feel aliens have witnessed spaceship before? I mean, they exist, I feel. Why not? I mean, I think didn't they finally like release things supposedly like, now I think the coincidental timing of the releasing of certain things of alien activity is very much in a way of a distraction, the timing of it. I do feel they exist, yeah. Like, why not? We have a whole galaxy. And we're the only ones that exist. Please, come on, please. Unless that's a simulation too, like, could be, you feel me? Let's see. Catch up with the chat, yo. I'm so hungry right now. Pizza sounds good. It sounds good, like real pizza. Yeah, gotta be careful nowadays with these crazy things nowadays, you feel me? Feathers all the time. Let's see. So I hope I answered your question in a long-winded way, Miss Casey. I think that's where I went on a tangent, you know what I mean? I have a little more thoughts on it too, which give me a moment. Let's see. Yo, Tobias, thank you so much. Same tribe, thank you for the card readings, eye-opening as well. I like to do collective readings because I want everybody to feel like included, you know what I mean? And also, I want to do lives and enjoy doing the lives. And I'm not gonna lie, if I had people asking me so many questions, blah, 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 first of all, a lot of people when they be asked and said questions, you know, and I say this with love, they ask from a sense of anxiety a lot of times, and like sometimes if they're not careful, that anxiety that they project will affect the potentially the message that they receive. And like some souls are just so wound up anxious that they seek answers, but they truly don't want to listen to anyone and won't listen to anyone. So when you start opening up the floodgates like that, I feel like deep down a lot of people are like, they need to practice gratitude, you feel me? So like that's also like why I don't do that, because some people that be coming in, you're like being ungrateful, you know? Like, yo, what are you doing? So yeah, any direct questions, I'm pretty chill, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, collective readings, you know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see, I get what you mean. I do this all the time, main character in the video game. Yeah. And there's like a fine balance of that too. Like, you know, you don't want to have main character syndrome where then other people feel that you're just being like an a-hole. You know what I mean? So, but you also want to have firm boundaries and not be taken advantage of. You know, ex-people pleaser here. Nice to meet you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, but I want to remind you, Miss Casey, that that your soul did not choose anything more than what you're able to handle. So when I'm saying that, referring to when you said the bad energy is following and disturbing, you know what I mean? Because like sometimes, you know, by proximity, when you're with certain people that are not in your best favor, they can unintentionally send energies your way. And sometimes they're doing it on a subconscious level, but just the mere proximity of them being within your auric field or nearby their auric fields can affect things potentially. But then I think it comes to a point where I think your soul either had agreed to endure a certain amount of energetic tuggings from said energies or influence from said negative energies. And I'm putting that in quotes because also I feel that whenever certain things happen, it's like, okay, well, what is the universe trying to teach me? So instead of seeing it as like being oppressed by things externally happening to me, no, things aren't happening to me. I see this now as a challenge in a video game. So now what am I going to do to unlock the achievements to do XYZ next? And this is where the complex dichotomy of things is that, well, free will still exists because you are a divine being, which is also where, in my eyes, parallel realities and different dimensions and you quantum leaping, hence Merkaba, right? I feel that the Merkaba is literally a symbolic representation of the conscious vehicle that we exercise through our perceptions. Hence, why is everything trying to go for our energy and our attention? Because our energy has power, right? So that's why whatever you put your energy towards is what you're feeding. So even like they say bad publicity or good publicity, they're still talking about you. You feel me? I feel if you look at things as like a test and not like a burden, you can help to continue to embody that dog energy of you being that dog in the burning house with a cup of coffee and you say everything is fine, you know? How do you feel about aliens? A witness? Oh God, I answered that one before. I believe in them. Yes. You know, I remember one time I was driving home from the interstate, and I kid you not, for about like 3 seconds in total, I saw a huge flashing like rows of lights. And it was like, I kid you not, it was like probably like a square-ish or whatever, or like a diamond shape, but it was like a row of, it was probably like 6, maybe like 18 lights or something like that, rows of 6. And it just literally shined really bright and just boom, disappeared. That's crazy. Awesome, in my opinion. They are attracted to energy you are emitting. I mean, a spider bite, you know, I agree that whatever is imbalance or not imbalance internally, it reflects into your reality, and you end up manifesting even inadvertently with it, which is also why I feel it, when you look at things from a lesson standpoint, I'm like, what is the universe trying to teach me? Sometimes through harsh interactions with others, and I do mean uncomfortable and harsh sometimes, those are lessons hidden in the midst. But then if we get too triggered enough to get focused on the problem and not what the universe is trying to teach you to transmute those energies, then we get distracted. You feel me? So thank you so much, Casey, for that. They can see your color and produce each emotion. Shadow works probably the best unless you're a psychic. Don't be scared. You know, that's a big thing too, when you are working with entities, and when you're trying to do certain practices. Unfortunately, now certain things I will say, I would reserve to someone that's more of an adept spiritually minded. When I say an adept, I'm not saying that you are a witch and you classify as a witch. I classify as a witch, and you know, many things as well, but spiritualist, whatever you classify yourself as, but shadow work specifically, when you're confronting certain entities, which by the way, in my eyes, like everything that exists is like a divine fractal of ourselves and a divine representation of ourselves embodied in a entity, that we have collectively given power to and exists. And some of these were actual people, which is why I'm saying like Lilith was an actual, for the first woman, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of legacy are you going to leave behind? You got to remember, Lilith is all about helping you to remember your divinehood. You know what I mean? Which I love her. I love her. She's beautiful. But yeah, you can't be coming from a sense of being scared. If you do, then that is kind of a recipe for discomfort. I mean, everything. Sometimes we're meant to like experiment and like learn things the hard way. Sometimes, you know. Let's see here. Without suffering, they've been in for yeah. I mean, that's why comfort breeds stagnancy a lot of the times. You know what I mean? Netflix and chill. Sometimes, you know, been there, done that. Sometimes you get so comfortable, and then you let everything, and then you stop growing, and you stop being the same person that maybe your loved one got attracted to, or maybe you became proud of, or maybe you even lost who you were as a person, right? So I think someone tell me in the chat, I think there's a Buddhist saying something about like beauty through suffering or something like that. It is easier said than done for sure. Spider bite is crazy, not for the faint of heart. And that's why change is so difficult. So you feel me? I'm catching up on the comments. I love that you're commenting though. I love it. I love to have comments to catch up on it. I've been learning astrology that explains why people act the way that they do. Yeah, you know, I think there's divineness in everything that exists, and it does also correlate with actual logic and science. And it just, anime fans out there, if you ever seen Steins Gate, shout out to fans of Steins Gate. If you know, you know. But that's a very trippy anime. I love it because I love those about like time travel and things like that. In this, he talks about different world lines and like butterfly effects and how all of them kind of connect together, and the whole thing's awesome. Daily purification are important. Ooh, a Japanese shaman. That sounds awesome. Are you from Japan? I really want. I like. If someone has connections, like I want to go there so bad. I want to visit Japan, but I'm not gonna lie. A part of me, like, I would like to buy one of those abandoned ghost houses. Real talk. I'm gonna find a good quality ghost house, and I'm gonna talk to them spirits, and maybe we can help them move on. Hey, if they want a potential mediator, you know what I mean? Like, I'm interested. You feel me? You know? And some of those houses that are abandoned are nice too. Some of them need a little TLC. You gotta look it up for yourself, and it's expensive to get something good in Japan. So, you know, they ain't making no more land. You feel me? Welcome everybody in chat. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much. I love you. You're beautiful. But yeah, you know, real talk. The sage. You see me burning up. I'll be doing it most of the day. Every time before I leave the house, I, you know, do a little sage cleanse or whatever. I don't feel that I have to do it, but you know, it's one of those things that just make sure you remember your power to know that don't let these things become a crutch, and then like if you didn't happen to do a cleanse, then somehow you're not cleansed anymore. Does that make sense? Sometimes we get, you know, to a little extreme sometimes. I mean, it happens to me sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes get sick through negative energy around me and syncing it with me. Well, you know, also though, divine feminine, you know, biologically you have an affinity towards the moon cycles already, towards that lunar energy anyways. As a masculine, you know, I feel that there's more of the sun energies. You even see that in the tarot, you know what I mean? And I always feel it's important to highlight that does not make any person above or below anybody else. I'm big on the belief that we are equal in different ways, you know what I mean? And that's what Lilith is about, true equality. True equality, you know what I mean? That's what she advocated for, and that's why she didn't stand down, you feel me? And she, you know, wanted to educate other people, you know what I mean? I feel that she was the divine dragoness that went into the garden to notify the rest, you know what I mean? And not make sure that people aren't living under illusion. So yeah, but I feel that sometimes though, if it helps Miss, hopefully I'm saying it right, Miss Tobias, that sometimes we are meant to experience certain hardships, you know what I mean? I feel there's truths in a lot of backgrounds, you know, like I was Christian for like 3/4 of my life. So like I know some of those like verses and things, but there are truths hidden and Easter eggs all over. I guess you can, what's coming to mind is like the whole Job story, but I think there's a reminder though in the way that I'm telling you though, unlike, and I don't remember the whole story to be honest, but his faith never wavered essentially. But I think that's also giving me like hangman energy of like practicing surrender when everything feels hopeless. But hope is a very, in my opinion, it's a thing you should not try to, I don't feel, as contrary as it sounds, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Hope is not something that people should strive to have. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out though. Hope, think of the energy behind hope. Hope is like a wanting and a desire for something that you don't already have. So if you wish for more hope, or you are putting more energy in hoping for something, you are putting more energy into lack, and you keeping putting yourself in a place that you don't already have what you want. Does that make sense? And that's kind of the tricks of like the matrix and certain things. They call it spelling for a reason, my love, because our words are just that powerful. You feel me? So take with that what you will, you know what I'm saying? But someone needed to hear that. So I am an empath, so opposite would be apathetic, I guess. Yeah. Jackie, hi. If you're still here, I hope you're still here. Make sure you subscribe. Jackie, hey. Thank you so much. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. I recommend doing purification healings, Benton Ryer, after 2 weeks. Interesting. I have to look that up. I haven't seen that before. Let me see this here. I'll write down a couple of lines written about can't you like me too. I'm only learning it though. Are you trying to hook me up with a cancer spider bite? Is that what it is? I'm wearing a black onyx ring for protection. Salt baths are good. Yeah. That's what I think here it's gold sheen obsidian. I'm so glad I remember that. This one, this Lilith pendant I got recently, and this is from the Hecate one, which again, excuse it, you know, I've had it for a while, you know what I mean, but with a tower here. And then I was gifted this one, which is awesome. I'm gonna show you. I have so much. Sometimes if you know, you know. If you have a lot of like pendants and stuff like that, you gotta like untangle them, you know what I mean? I have this one here that she made, and she gifted this to me with a scarab. So check her out, look her up. Sophia's Dreaming. Not a sponsor, but I really enjoy. The energy's good. If you find something that has good energy, you want to spread the word, you know. But yeah, thank you for sharing, Kathy. 210. I'm always all about everyone vibing, you know what I mean? If it's not your vibes, you know, that's okay too. Dead microwave. Yes, you know what I'm talking about? Are you talking about Steins Gate, Casey? Crystal 2 really helps. Let's see, this one says the universe babes. I read your comment, Miss Spider Bite. I read the comment, so no, you're chill. Queen Mother, healer, nurturer, nurtures. Yeah. The microwave reminded me. Salt bath. Yeah, love it. Yeah, share the information in the chat, baby. In Australia, you're in Australia right now, Casey. Hardships, it will come for you. It's worse for some. Yeah, I gotta learn about more about these astrological things, but I'm curious, Spider, do you know about the 13 zodiacs? The 13 moons? They talk about the, I think it's called, what is it called? Somebody put in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. There's a 13th zodiac. Ophiuchus, Spider, thank you. I'm finally caught up with the chat. But no, keep commenting. I love it. Ophiuchus, yeah. I think if I looked up that just changed most people's zodiacs. By the way, I do feel personally, I feel that some of the key figures in history, I feel that they are like ascended masters. Does that make sense? I feel that their original message was trying to talk about certain things like what I'm talking about, like higher consciousness and awareness, and one waking up to one's owner in a divinity, hence him saying a lot of things like anything I can do, you can do too. Or I think somewhere he says that there are probably things that you will do even greater than me, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So like, yo, there's symbolism hidden everywhere. I feel like a lot of these masters, like Buddha, and you know, a lot of these key figures, I think they had their messages potentially skewed a little bit, you know what I mean? At least what always got me, and no one could really answer this, was, yeah, you know, no one could answer this for me, when I would ask this growing up as a kid, because I always questioned everything, and I was like, it didn't seem, if he was as humble as a person, like it didn't seem like he would want to be someone that be worshipped. It seemed kind of weird, you know what I mean? But yeah. And then later on, I was like, okay, Ascended Master. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Like his message was potentially, or was skewed to fit certain narratives to control the populace. Take with that what you will. There's a whole different Easter eggs and rabbit holes that go from there. It's killed by Zeus for raising men from the grave. Interesting. I never heard of that. I gotta look that up. I haven't looked up the 13 zodiacs in detail, Miss Casey, but thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I feel that a lot of like the deities, by the way, like I work with, I love Miss Goddess Lilith, and you know, she's one of the divine beings that I work with, but like I think devotion and worship is different. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't say that I worship any entity or deity, because all the entities and deities that exist are essentially divine fractals and divine extensions of ourselves anyways. So we are all equal and the same in different ways. Does that make sense? Yo, es Gaidola. It's Gaidola, if I say that right. Hello. Make sure everyone's subscribed, y'all, in case we get disconnected. Well, you know what, Miss Casey, though, if you think about it this way, though, think of now, like, well, even if you don't affiliate yourself now anymore, but you think of like the journey that where you are now, and there's a certain level of like unprogramming, at least for me personally, because it just wasn't for me, you know what I mean? To each their own, I always say that. But, you know, your journey on what led you to where you are now, you know, that can help someone else out, you know, for if you meet someone else that's also trying to unprogram certain things. Does that make sense? Did they block your message? I didn't get a thing out right. I don't know. For good reason. Put on a cross. Interesting. Okay. Oh well, let me check it. See, did it come through? You definitely learned from it. I see. I'm not sure who you're referring to, by the way, Spider. I saw the comment, but I used to be raised Catholic too, and eventually it never resonated with much. And further down the road, truth out of religion, no thank you. Yeah, you know, I feel there's a lot of elite structures and a lot of people at, you know, and it could be just, if you think about it, it could be just it could be like Agent Smiths that are in control of certain elements of the simulation, you know, if you want to think of it like that. If you put it like that, by the way, and I use these analogies as a way to also have you not take life so seriously, but also know that you have a lot more power, like Neo did, right? Yeah, you know, I think that some premises of certain like doctrines, they have a good intentions potentially, or at least that's what's put out there. But then in practice, there's a lot of divide, and from my experience was a lot of hypocrisy and kind of like cliques and social. It felt more like a social club than actually like. And like cliques and people like outcasting each other and drama. Maybe that's just in my sector, who knows, you feel me? But it definitely was it was a wake-up call for me eventually. The whole 2020, and I guess I don't know how careful I gotta be with that anymore, but that whole experience was actually the moment that changed my whole life and what I thought and my beliefs. You know what I mean? Because I've crossed over to the other side through some major operation, you know, and you know, so I don't really like fear. I'm not saying that I want anything to happen, you know, prior to when I'm meant to, because everyone, you know, their time is coming at some point eventually. That's inevitable, right? But we all have a divine purpose, and we're going to be here for as long as we're meant to be. Masons run the whole thing, done with corruption. Well, we don't need churches done with God. Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that kind of got me whenever I was in the religion was during that time, which is a very challenging time for a lot of people, and you know, much peace to those that were very negatively affected by that, whether it be with loved ones or anything. But it's like I felt a lot of people were like, for a religion that claimed that they were only afraid that you should only fear God, but then there seemed to be so much fear as a whole populace, at least maybe in the congregations that I went to. I'm not sure. I'm not, you know, to each their own, but also from my own experience, it's like rebuke this, rebuke that, and like everything's like you're rebuking everything, but why? That means you're scared? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense? It's like, okay, well, it seems that in and of itself seems hypocritical, and maybe I'm being a little too harsh because, you know, having tasted death, you know, inadvertently through operation, you know, it's, yeah. They're not. Project Matt, how you doing? What's up? Let me take a look at this. Well, obviously I would see why they would hold that comment respectfully, Project Matt. Why would you even say that? I'm curious. Anyways, it's kind of random. Let's see. Calisanius or higher up, Mason. Well, but I think also, though, personally, there's a lot of, again, if we go to like certain things that have been demonized, like Goddess Lilith, right, was demonized for so long. But also even like certain entities and certain demons that do reside in these shadow realms, like people have come up with their own thing. Does that make sense? So then you start to think that all these entities are bad, but then these entities just are divine beings with knowledge, you know what I mean? And yes, some are divine due to collective perception. Some may exhibit certain traits based on the definitions that we have given them. Like, you know, they talk about 7 deadly sins, right? Like envy, greed, lust, all those kind of things, right? So I guess what I'm wondering, when people say Satan, it's like, what do you perceive as Satan? Who is Satan, right? Because people confuse Satan with Lucifer, which is different. Because they're all different entities, you know what I mean? Fear everything, repent. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of fear mongering, and you know what I mean? And what you fear, it makes you more susceptible to control. I heard someone say, what you fear, you're a slave to, but I think it's more accurately said, what you fear, consider that as an avenue of where you could be manipulated if you're not careful. Does that make sense? It's about preparing yourself and being not from a place of fear, but guarding yourself. Does that make sense, my love? Make sure you subscribe, baby. Let's see. I no longer live in fear, wrath, or damnation, in case I now live loving others, myself, learning every day. And love starts with the self anyways, you know what I mean? I love this conversation. Thank you so much. Keep it coming, the dialogue, you know what I mean? I love that, you know. Sunny Gun, thank you so much. Just a message retract, but hey, glad to have you. I don't know what you said. Divine due to collective perception. Sombero, that's kind of a cool nickname. Glad to have you. Divine due to collective perception. Yeah, then that's what they call egregore, right? An egregore is kind of like a collectively perceived thing that's known by a large number of people in the collective. And as a result, those things end up having power on their own. Evil to me depends on their intent. Do they want to harm you, or are they simply existing in the wrong? We don't understand. You know, yeah, I know what you're saying, and just hear me out for a moment. This kind of crazy thinking, right? But we look at other species that it's like a normal Tuesday or a Wednesday to like the octopus, I think, do this, or certain species of octopus maybe. What is it? Praying mantis? Don't they eat like don't they like eat the other people or something? And then like to them, like we don't question that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, obviously I'm not advocating for anything weird, obviously, but I'm just like, it's just something to consider, like why we don't question certain things that happen in nature, but then like that's normal for them, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. Jesus is an egregore. Well, I think, like, first of all, that wasn't his name anyways. I don't think so. Like, he was I'm of the belief he was like an ascended master, so like he embodied like the frequency of the Christos, which is more like a frequency which everyone can tap into. Does that make sense? Easter Bunny, Superman. Well, and a lot of these things are distractions that were developed too to keep us from learning more about other things. So they say pay attention to this instead. You know what I mean? In the head of the. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna show it. I read it, Miss Casey. That's I don't know why they man, this AI moderation get hardcore on these summit times, you know. It flagged one earlier for good reason, but let's see. You said you're an egregore. I mean, divine gods and goddesses, you know, all of you, my love. Spider bite. I'm curious. Just take this as an observation, no judgment, okay? Is there something that maybe you may want to look into? I feel there's like I mean, I had my fair share of triggers when it comes to unprogramming certain things from when I was a Christian, you know what I mean? And some truths that I revealed and found out later, you know, not gonna lie, at first it's like, you're alive, I don't know what happened. Hey, that was that? Did somebody call? Did somebody call Agent Smith? They had him affect the connection. Is that what it is? Sombrero. Is it only certain types of shared beliefs, or the concept of collective naming of non-physical concepts like math? I don't know, man. I mean, the definitions and things that we perceive are very powerful, you know what I mean? The words that we identify. I'm going to read from here. This is here, an oracle book. I don't know if you really heard about that, but, you know, kind of like back in the day when, you know, it was the Bible, right? When I was a Christian, there is a whole Sunday school game that they would play where they say, hey, if you open the Bible to any specific spot, they said, I bet that the first thing you look at will be something that'll apply to you. And now looking back, I'm like, yo, what you were explaining and doing was a form of divination, bro. Like, what, you kidding me? You can't deny that. Come on, baby. You're divining through the Bible, the same thing. You open it and what exactly shows up, you're trusting that it's a message for you. Same thing with cards, right? I think there's even a verse that says, a person may throw the dice, but you don't determine where they fall. So same analogy with cards, right? That's what I believe anyways. Studied ancient Greeks, couple years. The original Bible was in ancient Greek. I think wasn't one part of the Bible Greek and the other was Hebrew. And I'm speaking like, was it New versus Old Testament or some books that were written in Greek versus other ones? Because I think some people lived in Greece. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. Yo, Casey, thank you so much for chilling with us. Dinner time. I'm hungry too. I hope you got pizza. Tell me what you got later. Yes, make sure you subscribe. I think you already did. You did. Thank you so much. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Let's see. Let us know Hebrew didn't exist and also eating pizza. Yo, pizza. What's your flavor? What'd you get? If you want to name real quick. Real quick, I'm going to tell you this quick message here and what showed up. Goddess Lilith, what you got for us? Limits are illusions. Look at that. What do we talk about? Illusions, matrix, right? Challenge them and discover what you are truly capable of. Thank you, Goddess Lilith. Look at that. That's so cool. See that? Limits are illusions. She says, challenge them and discover what you are truly capable of. Let's see. Oh, we got another. Let's see. Independence is the hallmark of a strong spirit. Loving without sacrificing loving without sacrificing your soul is a testament to strength. Let's say this again. Independence is a hallmark of a strong spirit. Loving without sacrificing your soul is a testament to your strength. Thank you, guys. Lilith. Yeah. Have a good night, Miss Casey. Have a beautiful evening and enjoy that pizza. Supreme pizza with pineapple. That sounds good. No, that's good. One of my go-tos, because I eat everything. I'm on a seafood diet. I see it and I eat it. You feel me? So I'm hungry. What? Once I unlock the tiers, one of my first tiers, if you stick around, you're going to know I'm going to have a little subscription tiers. Well, my first one is going to be Feed the Wolf, baby. Feed the Wolf. I'm hungry. But pepperoni, salami, and pineapple. That was like an ultimate. That was like they would have these Domino's 3-topping deal special for carry out. And I would get that garlic Parmesan sauce. I would get extra that garlic Parmesan, extra sauce. I would get square cut. Like the app was so easy. You just hit the button. They let you do square cut. So little bite-sized pieces. It's not a full commitment. Does that make sense? You don't feel as guilty eating 12 little squares versus eating 3 slices, even though it's probably more. Does that make sense? That's the psychology behind it, but dang, do they get you. So yeah, Casey, enjoy that pizza. It sounds awesome. Written in Sumerian ancient Greek, yes. Okay, I think I did hear about that. Is a serpent bearer. Okay, interesting. Ophiuchus. Yeah, I have to do more research. I'll be honest, I haven't done. I would do one more. This Oracle book is pretty fun. Pain is a door, not an end. Walk through it. It will lead you to unexpected horizons. Look at that. Thank you, Goddess Lilith. It's a reminder that the pain and the trials you go through are not for nothing, my love. It's a door not an end. And also, to an extent, we probably signed up for a certain level of it. Let me see if I have, I might get off here pretty soon. I realize, wow, I've been over 2 hours, man. Pretty good. I mean, having fun. For those that like the love stuff, you know, whatever. Let's do it. We have this, this is one of the love decks. I forget exactly. I don't have the box near me, but let's see what shows up. Soulmate manifestation. Yes, Oracle. That's what it's called. Thank you, universe. Sombrero, snake constellation that got dropped. Yeah, I kind of wonder what parties and why were they, and I kind of wonder, like, now the fact is that so many people have adopted the 12 zodiac system, like, to this point, there's power in belief in that. There's no doubt about it. But I kind of wonder how much more power or knowledge one could learn by studying the 13 zodiacs. Does that change anything? To some people, it changes a sign. Some people, it's the same. Quit signing up for stuff. What do you mean? What do you mean by that, Kathy? I'm curious. So I'm pulling 3 cards here, and the first one I got was, now this is soulmate manifestation. It could have to do with potentially where, whether you're in a relationship already. It could be having to do with your current relationship, or this could have to do with, if you're single, it could have to do with potentially where you may meet, or potential things that could be keeping you from manifesting those things, if that's what you're looking for. Does that make sense? Yeah, isn't that pretty cool, bro? Like, or miss, it says sombrero, I can't tell, forgive me. But yeah, I don't know, if you think of certain things from a certain standpoint, then it's like we all on a cosmic level are working together. And you know, there has to be a certain level of understanding and empathy that, hey, we can't force other souls to learn lessons faster. And that's where we kind of got to practice the art of surrender and the high priestess energy of releasing a sense of control and trying to change things that to you may seem obvious. Does that make sense? So, familiar here. It could be around something familiar that you may confront a special connection, whether virtually or in person. We've already met. Now, on a cosmic level, I believe you probably already have, even before. And I very much believe that based on where you are in the divine collective, if you're this piece of glass in the collective versus this piece of glass in the collective, your soul tribe, how I view it, are the divine fractals that exist directly beside you where you reside. That doesn't make any divine fractal, whether on the top or the bottom, respectfully, any less than. They're all part of the same, and they are all equally important. But you just may have closer connections with certain divine fractals, and probably why you could be polar opposites with someone and not get along with them, or karmic relationships. That makes sense. So that's my way of kind of trying to like expand in my way of like seeing the world. You know what I mean? When you look at things more from a collective standpoint, it makes it a little bit easier to stomach some of the things and gives you a little more power, in my opinion. Second card that shows is aware. Awareness is very important, especially when it comes to your evolution and awakening, right, my love? I've worked hard on becoming the best version of myself. I'm ready for a healthy relationship with my soulmates. Are you? You sure? If you're like potentially desperately seeking a connection, be careful with that energy, because again, it could be like lack energy, and it could be delaying certain things that are meant to, or people that are meant to cross your path if you try to control things too much. If that makes sense. They also drop Orion at the time too, Spider Biases. They wanted to simplify and condense their... I mean, there's a lot of stars to look at too, and I barely scratched the surface. Twin flame relationship. Oh, I see what you're saying, Kathy. That's what you're talking about. Miss Kathy, it must have been a very intense... We should talk more, because reach out to me on Instagram. But yeah, I've noticed certain just observations, right? Maybe something to look into more. You know what I mean? I need to make room for my soulmate to come in. A spider bite. Well, I don't know. And it's funny because I'm more of a... Granted, this could be like from past stuff speaking here, but I don't think so in a way. I'm also thinking like consciously, like through my healing, I'm having a different perspective on what we accept generally as a acceptable relationship dynamic. And obviously that differs by the culture. That does greatly differ by the upbringing and the culture and so many factors, right? But also, think about it for a moment, you know what I mean? There's a lot of factors out at play that are monetizing different stages of your relationship. So to me, it's like, are we meant to be like with one person? I know it sounds crazy, right? But if you think about it, like, first of all, a lot of people jump into relationships unhealed and from a place of sometimes desperation, and because obviously, you know, if you're alone for a long time, you kind of do, on a human level, you kind of have healthy desires, and it's completely natural. But I think it's also important to have awareness and knowing the difference, if that makes sense, and making sure that you are completely aware of why you have signed up for a connection. Does that make sense? Are you signing up for the connection because they make you feel complete? Because if that's the case, then you don't feel complete without anybody else already? Question mark. So, I mean, I'm a Virgo. I don't know if you were talking about me. I'm a Virgo. But I tend to get along with Cancers very well. They seem to make good friends. Fortune is the third card that showed up. Shine bright like a diamond. Capital C in the sentence is doing some heavy lifting. Are you a Cancer, Sombera? We are the absolute luckiest. I think so. You're here in the chat. Thank you, universe. That's what it says. It's probably, with more gratitude comes more fortune. You know what I mean? I thought about this the other day, because it's also, you got to think of like these certain dynamics that keep getting pushed out as normal. You know what I mean? Like, there came to a point back in the day where like you know, they say like retail therapy or whatever, and then like there's a whole dopamine rush of 2-day shipping and everything like that, and been there, done that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I feel that the more you try to seek things outside of yourself, the less space that you allow for room for miracles to happen. Does that make sense? And I no, you good, Spider Bite. Yeah, love yourself first. So all starts with you. Yeah. On Bastille Day. Okay. Ah, so you like the diamond? Yeah. Look at that. Shine bright, baby. Mike, what's up? How you doing? This is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. But I'll do a little quick recap though and see if anything comes out. I'm gonna read a couple more cards that just popped out. But lately I've been kind of channeling an energy of someone that needs to kind of like my mind space for mom and pride for a good reason. Sometimes when that happens, you got to keep in mind, tired as heck. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm tired, Grandpa. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd be trying to say to, sometimes like you have to be patient and patient and patient. So I feel right now that you're just tired, baby. And just in general, like the collective, I'm feeling a collective like tiredness. You know what I mean? I'm sure we're all just tired of lessons after lessons, and sometimes that can be a little gut punch. You know what I mean? Nah, you're chill, Mike. No, there wasn't anything to. My readings are chill for a reason. I like to allow a little flow. Free flowing of energy, and I always give disclaimers that when I do readings that the messages don't necessarily all coincide with each other. Sometimes they can, but not all the time. So yeah, Mike, keep in there being you, baby. Come on, Wolfpack family. Give a like to the video though. Make sure you do that if you haven't already. The Cosmic Mother. All I have about Virgo is, you know, I mean, healer energy. Jackie, hey, how are you? Welcome back. Yo, thank you for the howl in the chat, baby, and the love. Yeah, I like the video. But yeah, glad to have you, Jackie. Glad to have you, Mike, in the chat. So, are you mistaking your power for something else, baby? I'm not the person who is in your life right now. This is your potential connection, potentially. Have you mistaken the wrong person for your soulmate? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You getting in the wrong connection, wasting time? Miso. Hi. Miso. Glad to have you. Nice. Welcome everybody in the chat. Make sure you subscribe, baby. But the other card that showed up here is mission. Have you been on a mission, my love? Maybe you're fumbling your mission. Uh-oh. Maybe you're literally feeling drained because I guess I've been, I gotta connect my phone now. I've been live enough where like now it's like 15% battery, my love. So maybe you powering down the processes and you getting a little tired, you're getting a little sleepy of people trying to tell you how to live your life. People trying to, there we go. I can see clearly now the light is on. You know how Android will like dim the light when you start getting lower, by the way. If you have any voiceover opportunities for me, you know what I mean? Or you want to collab and me voiceover a character, let me know. I do like that kind of stuff. Can I have an anime? I'll be in an anime dub. You see that? You're gonna, I tell you. Yeah. But yes, I was just reading this right now. I just had it with me. Oh yeah, mission. We share a passion for helping others. We have a mission to fulfill in this world together. This is potentially a union that's happening with somebody, and it could be a business partnership potentially. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm gonna, excuse me, confirmation Bert. Give me one quick second, collect. I'm gonna step off. I'm coming right back. I'm just gonna get this other book here. Hold please. Oh, okay, cool. I found it. I think this will be a good way to close things off. I think the Oracle books I always think is kind of cool. I actually have another one too. I'm gonna share with you, just because I love the Mystic Royal Collective. Coming back. Okay. Trying to get my setups situated. Hello, hello. All right, so this is around the time when I had, oh, by the way, Spider, if you're still in the chat, you should look up this book. Check this out. May give you a little, and this is for anybody. Look at this. Astrology of the Shadow Self, working with oppositions in your natal chart. Straight up astrology, baby, right there. So, maybe I might see if anything pops out from there. But I do have this Lilith Oracle book here as well, in addition to the other one that I got. So let's see if Goddess Lilith has any other divine messages, okay? Always hitting on point, baby. Love the unloved parts of you. Your primal instincts and emotional impulses are a valid part of you. I'm gonna repeat that. Love the unloved parts of you. Your primal instincts and emotional impulses are a valid part of you. Essentially, what I'm getting is, don't deny who you are, baby. The artwork is kind of cool on it too. Pull two more. I like doing like pairs of three when I do things. Be patient. What were you talking about? Patience, right? Be patient. Be confident in your ability to manifest. Look at that. Tuning into your power, baby, is what it is. What you seek is on its way. Focus on making room for it. Cutting cords, baby. What are we talking about? And also limiting your consumption, ideally, on trying to bring things. Sometimes I feel if we're trying to bring so many things to us, is it because we're trying to either one, not sit with ourselves, or are we trying to fill an alleged void of something that we have? Does that make sense? So I'll read it again. Be patient, be confident in your ability to manifest. What you seek is on its way. Focus on making room for it, okay? Yeah, baby. Do one more message here on here, and I might close it off pretty soon. This is awesome looking. Pay attention to those gut feelings and red flags. They are there for a reason, so don't ignore them. Boom. Goddess Lilith speaking facts, baby. Pay attention to those gut feelings and red flags. They are there for a reason, so don't ignore them. And look at this. That divine, look at that, that primal. This to me looks like that primal divine feminine energy. Look at that. That's awesome. Beautiful. I think I'm gonna leave it there, collective. I think that's a good place to end off there. If you haven't already, make sure that you, I'll do a little post cleansing as I like to close the portal off. Yo, Pyaw, how you doing? If I said that right, how you doing? Make sure you like the video and make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, but I think you are. Reactivating the sage cleansing, my love, okay? Thank you so much for the love and the liking the video, yeah. So I'm gonna closing off the portal here for the reading. It's always good to kind of, with intention, nothing to fear if you forget, but when you start pulling a lot of energies, you gotta make sure you don't leave things open. Ideally. That's what I was talking about. Are you talking about like leaving things open? Connections? Miss Kathy. Glad to have you still here. I love you. You're beautiful and you're wonderful. I love my Mystic World Collective. Yeah, Goddess Lilith. One more. Oh, red flags, yes. Okay, thank you, Goddess Lilith. Queen of the Night Oracle Grimoire. I felt, oh look, a change up is what it is. Empowerment. Goddess Lilith. telling you to seek empowerment and being your divine self. And this is actually the cover of this deck here, which is really nice. Lilith, dark goddess, empowerment. I embrace my shadows and turn my fears into wings that lift me towards my true power. Beautiful. The Garden of Eden, awakening. I release the illusions of my life and trust in my awakening, flying away towards my autonomy. You're a free bird, my love. You're a free bird. Harness the power that you have and take what you want for yourself. Obviously, you know, if it involves other people, then obviously that's where you have to be mindful and always seek consent when interacting with entities and beings of any kind. Book of Shadows, secrets. I keep and respect my inner secrets and spiritual discoveries, knowing my path is unique. Embracing the path that you're on and not denying the path that you're on. Like, I will say, there's some things that you should keep to yourself, genuinely. But when it comes to just like sometimes in the midst of like so much oppression or trials, sometimes we can keep things secret from ourselves. Does that make sense? Because sometimes we can lock things up so tight within ourselves that if you're not careful, there's always an extreme to everything. If you're not careful, they're good to have secrets for yourself of things that are personal to you and unique to you. You should have those things. And you shouldn't always be spreading your goals out, that's for sure. You don't want to be spreading your goals out to people, that's for sure, because you never know. People don't always have your best interests. And that's why I'm very choosy with my words, and I'm very choosy not to commit certain things, because you never know. You want to always be flexible for change, and what you put out there, people are gonna notice. So it's not out of a place of trying to seek anyone's, because that's the last thing you want. You don't want anybody. You want to be able to validate your own existence. Put a like in the video if you know what I'm talking about. Make sure you subscribe, baby. But love, you're awesome, and yes, I'm free bird. Yes, Miss Kathy. Exactly. People with bad juju. Well, not everybody's meant to rock with other people, and sometimes people are just like jealous of the secrets that you are harboring for yourself, and sometimes that's what gets other people. Like, if you really want to magnetize people, stop giving away everything about yourself. And I'm not saying, I'm definitely not an advocate of playing games. Put in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Because that's what brings a whole toxic mess. This ain't a lot of relationships. It ain't Hollywood type stuff. A lot of people want to do stuff like that. You shouldn't play games with anybody. If you feel like something's over, just move on. You feel me? And if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny though when you say spider bite, bad juju though. Also, I always try to keep in mind how much power. If you look at it from this way, how much power are we inadvertently giving away from ourselves? If we feel that someone has, you just gotta be careful not to relinquish our power, as if that makes sense. I think it's different between acknowledging that something can be toxic and harmful for us. So if there's like a hot pan, we're not going to touch it if we know it's hot. That makes sense, right? How do you keep someone out of your dreams? How do you ban them? Jeanette, thank you so much for interacting, and I'm cool to if everyone's still chatting and chilling. This is the witch's hour, baby. Right now, I'm kind of chilling. I don't know how much longer, but I'm gonna keep on going, baby. Jeanette, from my personal experience, well, first of all, I would encourage you. I don't know your situation, but what I feel like saying right now is to consider, and this goes for anybody, by the way, if somebody's showing up in your dreams and you don't want them to, the first thing I would consider asking that person is like, okay, well, do you feel you have truly resolved your end of the energy for yourself? And have you also forgiven yourself for whatever part that you had with said person? So you want to try to make sure that you have been through and worked through certain karmic situations that you had with people, especially people that you don't want in your dreams. There are also those that are skilled in dream work, and with the permission of your guides, because nothing can, this is a comforting thought, by the way, nothing can happen without the permission of your guides and their guides allowing it to happen. Does that make sense? So on a cosmic level, if someone did in fact invade your dream, it's because on a cosmic level, you agreed to allow that to happen, because at the time you weren't aware of your power to recognize that. And that's the power of awareness. I don't know if that makes sense. But I personally would, like, everything is about energy. And even if nothing shows up physically in the physical realm, like, there's a lot of things happening on the energetic plane more than what you know. So your intent means a lot. So you could even, whatever that looks like to you, Miss Jeanette, you could even like envision yourself like, or like protection energy. Does that make sense? Like you putting a shield around yourself when you sleep. It could also be, though, that maybe if you're dreaming about said person, it could be an alternate reality where maybe on a cosmic level, let's say if the person is available to be reached, especially if they're in proximity, the energy could probably be felt more, and you could potentially dream about said people more. The people that are closer in your auric field physically, I feel have a chance to unconsciously ping your energy and show up, whether in your thoughts or your dreams. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, they don't have to be near you though. Yeah. Because we are all collective consciousness. That's how people are able to pinpoint, and I mean, you could technically tune into anybody's energy if you really believed in yourself enough to do that. And this is why we can tune into energies, because we are part of the same source. Anything I can do, you can do too. You know, the what is it, the Bible verse that says over there? He was pretty much trying to tell people, hey, you can all do the same thing. But I feel that when people, even if you haven't met a person, like just thinking about somebody, you're pinging someone's energy. If they come into your mind and you weren't trying to think about them, then it could be that they are thinking about you. I also sometimes feel it's important to realize that anytime that certain people come into your orbit, whether in a thought form or some way, shape, or form, it could be some unresolved energetic tie there that's worth looking into. And it's the only thing I really have to say regarding that. I've had to, on my own personal, like, you know, and I feel I encourage anybody to try this and just be mindful when you're doing anything, do it with intent and do it with as much good, ideally good morality standing as much as possible, whatever that means to you. And that's obviously based on the user. But again, I can't remind people enough about the extent of karmic repercussions if you're to intentionally put malicious things towards another person. Now, some of those things are obviously could be allowed for a reason to teach people a lesson, but another practice that you could do to have people not show up as often is cord cutting, which I think we talked about earlier. Cord cutting, which is the intent. Some people will do it like physically. I think it's a powerful thing having your own like setup if you want to do the whole candle setup, where one candle represents one person, one another, and you have a little string like a twine, and that's the whole like a cord cutting thing. And that's a way that you can remove connections that may linger with other people. Welcome everybody coming in the chat. Make sure you like the video for the algorithm. Make sure you're subscribed in case we get disconnected. I love you, you're beautiful. But it's all about empowering yourself and bringing your power back to you. So it all boils down to that here, the empowerments here from Goddess Lilith that we were talking about earlier. Cord cutting is a way that you know, you can cut energetic ties from people that are potentially trying to siphon your energy. Energetic shielding, like you putting, like with your intention, just envisioning you channeling your energy that comes from you, your chakra system, and envisioning that as, you know, protecting yourself. Does that make sense, my love? Yo, from Denmark. Wow, thank you so much for sharing. That's awesome. Two Tortoise Gaming, glad to have you. We're just kind of chilling and vibing, kind of talking higher consciousness, esoteric vibes here. No problem, Jeanette. I hope that was informative. Banishing spell also is what just came to mind. Banishing, like, I think that's a very, that's a stronger like intent. It could be like warding also, like, hey, these types of energies are not welcome here. Just keep in mind when you do some of these things and then you still wonder, like, if you still think about these people or they show up in your dreams, and this goes for anybody, by the way, that to me is a true sign that there's something that still needs to be resolved on an energetic cosmic level. If people, through repeated cord cuttings or whatever, that people still somehow find a way to tug at your energy, you know what I mean? I feel that sometimes it's a deeper thing, and sometimes when you start recognizing your own power, maybe you're meant to not for the other person, but for your own sake, to move on, confront certain energies from a different place. Does that make sense? Because sometimes we feel that we're probably moved on from certain energies, but then at the same time, these energies still have us thinking about it somehow, or weasel their way into our lives. And it's like, yo, I don't even want to be thinking about this person, or I don't even want to be thinking about these people. You know what I mean? But that also is something worth considering. Is it potentially something unresolved on the internal, and how you're, like, are you reacting? Do you find yourself still reacting when these people come up and that kind of thing? That's going to be something to consider as well, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to close things off with officially here. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, with the selenite wand here. Energetically cleanse the space. Make sure you like the video, my beautiful beloved here. We're closing the portals, and if you consent to said cleansing, say, I consent, okay? Hold still, take a deep breath, okay? 3, 2, 1. Let's unwound some energies. Thank you so much for the love, the likes. We're going to help untangle some stagnant energy, okay? Take a deep breath here with me in a moment. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, Spider Bite. Appreciate you in the chat. Reach out to me, by the way. Anybody want to reach out personally, reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to chat with you. Hold still, okay? We're going to get this stagnant energy, okay? We're going to... One more time, deep breath. Thank you, universe. Removing any potential sludge. It's time to rewrite things, my love. Here, you are the author of your own life. Remember that. Okay? Rewriting the script on programs that have been placed upon us. They don't have any control over us. Limits our illusion, exactly. We are the writers and the architects of our own reality, collective. We are that powerful. Thank you so much, universe. If you accept to that cleansing, say I accept. Thank you so much for being here. That was beautiful. Mystic Royal Collective. Make sure you come back again, my love. Check out the description if you'd like to support the channel. I do like coffee. I do have a buy me a coffee link. No pressure. I do appreciate you, my beautiful. Reach out to me on Instagram, and if you want to see some unique content, I'm on Kick. Do some other like reaction videos, some fun stuff, you know. I think they're a little bit yo Evie. Not bad, not bad. Thank you for chiming in, I'm glad. And don't wear odd socks. I mean, I'm not wearing any socks right now. Usually they're on the house barefoot. All natural, baby. Stay mystical, my friends. We'll talk soon. Confirmation burp about the much love that I have for the beautiful collective. Ciao, mi amor. Until next time.